What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NBA DFS video. It is Friday. It is January 17th. We are back. We're already halfway through January, which is wild. We got divisional round NFL tomorrow, which I cannot wait for because I'm breaking it down for you today. So be on the lookout today. Be on the train here. Subscribe if you have not. Hit the bell notification. That'll go out sometime this afternoon. We'll break down the entire slate. The 4 games, the 8 teams, we'll look at them, we'll build lineups, we'll use SaberSim, we'll use it all. So make sure you check it out. Also this weekend, we've got still NBA, divisional round. We've already through a day and a half of PGA, and then we have MMA as well. So we are very excited, and if you've never been here before, you're in for a treat. We do have giveaways every single video, 2 of them to be exact. Here's how to win. Like the video, be a subscriber to this channel, and you've got to leave a comment on this video for the comment picker to pick you up. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you'll have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. 100 likes, a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes, a chance at a lifetime pass. Second way to win. Somewhere in this video, I'll say a keyword or key phrase. Be on the lookout for it. Type it in there and have a chance at a second free week of FTA+. You could win every single day. You just got to come back. You got to interact with these videos. We've had it happen multiple times. So we'll have the giveaways at the end of this video. And if you've never been here before, here's what we do. Anytime we have at minimum 5 games on the slate, we're going to give you 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks through our early projections. We've already ran 10,000 simulations this morning, and these are the early projections with them. We've got a ton of people that are game time decision. A lot of them are probable, so I think they will play, but there are some that may miss a couple more games, which will open up value, which I will tell you, go check out simulations about an hour or 2 before tip-off. We will update them for you, and that's once the news breaks. So, that being said, we are going to go through 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position. Then we're going to build a lineup on DraftKings, we're going to build a lineup on FanDuel, and we are going to build a early lineup on Yahoo as well. So without further ado, we are going to get into the point guard position. We're going to look at DraftKings. A lot of these guys are already ruled out. We do have some questionable guys. Should open up some value throughout the day, but I absolutely love LaMelo Ball here. Going up against Chicago, 29th out of 30th DVP, a fantastic value play there, just due to the DVP. Now, he is 10,400, so if I am paying up, I wouldn't say value, but I am paying up. I am paying for LaMelo maybe a little bit over SGA. We've got LaMelo right around 54 to 56 fantasy points. Jalen Brunson right around 46. Scotty Barnes, 25th DVP. I love this matchup here if you want to pay down at 8,700. We got about 46 to 50 fantasy points. So if you don't feel comfortable paying up all the way for LaMelo, I get that. I would look at Scotty Barnes in this one. So mid-tier for point guards. Mid-tier, it just depends. We have a lot of players to look at. I got Russell Westbrook right around 33 to 35 fantasy points. Keontae George right around 32 with a 21st DVP against New Orleans. And then Kobe White, if he plays. I wanted to see if he was going to play. He is probable. He did play 33 minutes. So he came back from his injury. He had the questionable tag. He still played 33 plus minutes, 30 plus fantasy points at 6,300. So I do love Kobe White here. Got the questionable tag. He should play against Charlotte. 24 DVP, about 31 to 35 fantasy points. Then we move to some value. So what I'm looking in value is I am looking normally a player on DraftKings at least under 5K. So looking at that, I've got Isaiah Collier against New Orleans, 21st DVP, 22 to 25 fantasy points. Davion Mitchell against Milwaukee, 25th DVP, 19 to 22 fantasy points. Come down a little bit depending on where we want to go. Depending if he gets the minutes. Sheed, for a little. Now, I don't know if Jamal Sheed will get any minutes. The minutes are kind of consistent. Fantasy points are a little bit inconsistent. But at 3K, if we do find other, we want to pay up at a couple other positions, Jamal Sheed, I do not mind him. Got him projected right around about 14 to 18 fantasy points. So at 3K, that's about 5 times value. I am okay with that. He could go off, but if you're paying that far down, I could definitely see us looking in that same direction. So we move to the shooting guard. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. We've got him against New York. A premier matchup here. 11th DVP, about 47 to 50 fantasy points. Tyler Hero against Denver, 27 DVP, about 42 to 45. We got Kyrie, who is questionable. Let's see if he's going to play. Yeah, so he played the 14th, but he's missed a ton of time. I'm off of Kyrie. I don't trust him. He's got a bad back. So I bring it down to Trey Murphy the third. Going up against Utah, 27 DVP, about 39 to 42 fantasy points. So shooting guard, mid-tier picks here, depending on where we want to go. CJ McCollum, about 36 fantasy points. Cole Anthony, 34 fantasy points. And then we've got Michael Bridges against Minnesota, 32 to 35 fantasy points. And then we bring it down to some value here. Christian Braun, I'm looking at about 22 to 25. Grady Dick, about 21 to 23. And Nikhil Alexander-Walker against New York, 11th DVP, about 21 to 23 fantasy points. Move to the small forward. You got him at the top, Jason Tatum. Under 10K, still projected right around 47 fantasy points. The problem with Jason is his price has been there. He's been very weirdly inconsistent. So 43 in 36 minutes, but then 36 minutes against New Orleans, 58. And then you drop down 35 minutes, 36.5. Being 10K, you need at least 55 fantasy points. And he has only hit that once in his last handful of games. Last time he hit that at 60 plus was against Minnesota on the 2nd. He was 10,400. So while I don't know if I'll pay up for him, we'll see. But honestly, I don't know if I'll pay up for him right now. But I've got Tatum right around 47 to 52 fantasy point range is where we could look at. Josh Hart right around 40 fantasy points. Jaylen Brown right around 39 to 42. Mid-tier, OG Anunoby about 31 to 35 fantasy points. Michael Porter Jr., I would bump this up. Michael Porter Jr., I love his matchup here if Jokic is out again. So we saw Porter, their last game, Jokic was out and they got blown out. He didn't do anything. 6,100, 24 minutes, 12. He's been very inconsistent as well. Maybe I don't like him as much. It's just really weird how bad he's been. Projections early, 30 fantasy, 29 to 32. He's got a great matchup against Miami. He really hasn't done much here. So be cautious with that, especially if you're paying 6,100. If we go down a little bit, you got Bryce Sensabaugh, about 26 fantasy points. Jaden McDaniels, about 25 as well. Trying to find some sort of value here. Depending on where we're at, Najee Marshall at 24. Lou Dort at 4K at 24. I don't mind. Christian Braun, or Aaron Wiggins for OKC, maybe 21 to 24 fantasy points, depending if he gets any run himself. Then we move to the power forward position. Giannis, I believe, is probable. He is probable. Yeah, he gets the probable tag, still plays. Problem is, he got 73 fantasy points, then 46. So he had 46 last game, 73, 44, 74. So if he follows that trend, we're looking at 70 plus. I've got him projected early at 57 to 60. Obviously, we're not going to project him up at 70. But if he follows that trend, the minutes have been there. Maybe we see another 70 burger out of him. We will see. I got Jalen Williams versus Dallas, 42 to 45 fantasy points. We got Miles Bridges against Chicago, 29 DVP. A great matchup for Miles, 39 to 42. Mid-tier, we're looking at Jimmy Butler. Now, my problem is Jimmy Butler wants to be traded. I think he still wants to be traded, which is always scary to me if a player wants to be traded. He's still playing. He's not planning to sit. He has not played since the 2nd. So if he's in there and has no tag, my only problem is I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. But right now, 32 to 35, he's got a great matchup against Denver, especially if Jokic is out. We got Kyle Filipowski against New Orleans. I love this matchup, 28 to 32 fantasy points. Naz Reid at 27 to 30. And if you are going to pay down here at the power forward position, you could. We're looking at maybe a little bit of Peyton Watson. Maybe gets a little bit of run with Jokic if he is out. 19 to 22. Patrick Williams versus Charlotte. 25th DVP, 19 to 22. And then Haywood Highsmith, 21st DVP, 19 to 22 fantasy points as well. Then we get to the center position. Jokic, I don't trust him. He's 12K. I'm not paying that. Projected right around 60, but the minutes he might miss, I'm probably off of him. We got Karl Anthony Towns, who did miss the last game. I am scared to use him as well. So that brings me down to Mark Williams at 6,800. Maybe one of my favorite plays of the day. He's got the questionable tag. I think he plays. I've got him projected 40 to 45 fantasy points going up against Chicago and their 22nd DVP against the center position. So we got Mark Williams there. You got Nikola Vucevic, who's on my list because he was the last leg of our parlay, 4-leg parlay, who did not hit. He needed 15 points last game. He got. And if you guys weren't here for it, I hit every other one of them. 14 points. He only needed 15. He hit that in 3 straight games. He had a great matchup against Atlanta, and he didn't get it. So you know today he's going to get 15 points, real points, in the first quarter. It's just going to happen. Got him up against Charlotte. We're looking at 40 to 45 fantasy points. We got Jacob Poeltl up against Milwaukee, 38 to 40 fantasy points. Mid-tier, not a ton of mid-tier picks at the center position. Not a ton. But we look at some of these. You got Julius Randle or Bam Adebayo, about 38 fantasy points, a great match. Bam Adebayo without Jokic, I love that. Still paying 7,100 though. While you got Mark Williams, you're only paying 6,800, so you got some value there. Wendell Carter Jr., 32 fantasy points. Daniel Gafford, 31 fantasy points. Gafford, I would like a little bit more if Irving misses more. And then if you're trying to find some value at center, I usually don't pay down normally. Drew Eubanks, 21st DVP against New Orleans, 24 to 26. Evis Missy against Utah, great matchup, 30th DVP, so the best matchup for him, 23 to 25, and he's under 5K. Got Jonathan Isaac at 4K against Boston, 28 DVP, about 21 to 24 fantasy points, depending on how many minutes Jonathan Isaac will actually get in this game. So if we look at Isaac here, what he's been able to do minutes-wise, it's the weird one. That's why I say if he gets the minutes. 15 for 16.75. Then he played 27 minutes against Philly, 42 fantasy points, basically. So it really just depends on the minutes that Jonathan Isaac's going to get. So if you are looking to build a GPP or a tournament-type lineup, Jonathan Isaac could be in there for you as well. So those are just some of the values, some of the projections after 10,000 simulations. So if you want to see a little bit more, go to the NBA tab. We got Vegas odds, pace of play. We got some fantasy points allowed by position, chalk, simulations, projections, cheat sheet. With the cheat sheet, we do have some optimal lineups that you guys can look at to start your process of building some of your, hopefully, great lineups as well. So those are some of the projections. If you want to see the rest, go check out the website. The keyword of the day is television or TV. And I come to you asking, my TV, my 65-inch Vizio, had it for 10 years, crapped out on us last night. So I am in the market for a new TV. I'm looking for a minimum of 75 inches. I am not against going to 85. The crazy thing is I've got a 40-inch Sony Bravia that I bought in 2008 that still works. It's a big boy. It's very heavy. It's very heavy. It's a flat screen. It's one of the first flat screens that came out. I spent $1,500. I didn't have kids. I was in my 20s. I had money and I bought it. No, I wasn't in my 20s. I was in college. I was 20 actually. I was 20. But anyway, so technically I was in my 20s. My question is, 75 to 85 inch. Any of you have good suggestions? I prefer not spend $1,000. I would prefer not to spend that much. Let me know your guys' thoughts, some TVs that you had. Put those down below. Best suggestion there. And if there is one that I go with, I'll give you a free month if I go with your suggestion. Free month to FTA Plus. So let me know TV, brand, size, what you paid for it, the pros and cons of it. I do have a PS5. I use it on my computer monitor. I would love to be able to play on a big TV that has a great refresh rate, especially Warzone, that has a great refresh rate where it's not slow, it's not laggy. So obviously the 120 hertz would be awesome. But yeah, let me know. And I know some of my what I'm asking for. It's very hard to build under a K. But let me know. I would very much appreciate some input there. So that being said, we are going to build a DraftKings lineup. Looking at some of the plays that we talked about, that is where I want to start. So, we looked at some of the plays. We know that, excuse me. We know that we can find some value. We know we can pay up at some positions and some that I just don't want to pay up for today. And that's completely fine. If there are certain players you don't want to pay up for, I get that. I am in that same realm there as well. But I do think I want to pay up for LaMelo Ball at $10,400 if I want to go there. I'm looking at Michael Bridges for the Knicks. I'm looking at Anunoby for the Knicks as well. Go to the power forward. I think we get the other Bridges brother in there. So we got both Miles and Michael. I love Mark Williams here. He's got the questionable tag. I think he plays. I love this matchup for him, especially at his price, under $7K. We got Mike Conley going up against the Knicks. I want to say they just faced each other not too long ago. I'm very curious how he did again. One game, 10.5 fantasy points. He's 3,500. He's playing almost 20 minutes. It's very weird. So the minutes are very weird. Man, I don't like him. The price for what he brings to the table, I don't think is enough for me. So let's take Anunoby out there. Let's take Miles Bridges out there. So we got Ball. If we go Jaden McDaniels, we talked about. So we go Jaden McDaniels. One that we didn't talk about, but I looked at, Filipowski. Or we did talk about him. I do like him. Mark Williams. Cason Wallace. Jalen Williams. And then utility. Pirtle. They put that E back in there. I don't mind that matchup. Now, we used all the salary. Kind of a boomer bust. We do have a cheap option in Cason Wallace. We have a cheap option in Filipowski and McDaniels. We paid up for Ball and Jalen Williams. And mid-tier, we paid up for Mark Williams. So that's a lineup that I'm going to use. Then you can see we already did a FanDuel one. With the FanDuel lineup, I got Mark Williams there. I got Chris Paul at the top, LaMelo Ball paid there. Max Christie and Hachimura, I love here. All the people for like LeBron and AD, they got the questionable tags. I don't want to pay up for them. I'd rather pay down for Max Christie and Hachimura and feel good about that. So that's our FanDuel lineup right there. I'm going to lock that in. Then the couple people that play Yahoo, got LaMelo in there, got Max Christie in there as well. Tyler Hero we paid up for. Lou Dort we paid down. Hachimura we paid down. Paid down for Harrison Barnes and Filipowski. And we paid mid-tier for PJ Washington. So Mark Williams, like you could look at Mark Williams here. Let's see what his price is. Price is $23. That's actually not that bad. So if you wanted to take PJ Washington out or put Filipowski out or find some value, you could put Mark Williams in there as well. So I'll save my changes and we'll go in that direction. Now, what you guys have been waiting for, the winners. Now, if you are a winner, please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Let me know if you have a username on the website and what that username is. If you do not, let me know a username, an email, and a password, and we will get you set up for all of your FTA Plus needs. This will be for 2 weekly winners. The first one will roll just because we got 50 likes. Doesn't matter if the keyword was in there. We'll still re-roll it. So, Anthony Range, congratulations. Please email me. Let me know if you have a username on the website. I do believe you do. And then the winner for the keyword yesterday was voice. Daniel Pope. This is the voice. Yes, it is Daniel. So please, both of you, email me. Good luck to you guys. Make sure you check out all of our content here on the site. We will have the NFL content for the divisional round this afternoon. Very excited for it, ready to rock and roll. We really only have 2 weeks left of NFL content. We'll break down the conference championship next week. Then we got the Super Bowl, and that is it. It's sad that the NFL season has come and gone. 19 weeks of it has already come and gone. A ton of you have joined the channel since the start of the NFL season. And if you have not been with us for MLB season, which pitchers and catchers are less than a month away, we're very excited about. We got spring training in March. We won't do spring training DFS because it is a crapshoot. It's just a money pit for FanDuel and DraftKings. They just rake in the money there. Check out our MLB content, maybe mid-July, just in the middle of the season, to see how we broke down every single day. That's what we're going to bring to you in 2025. That's what I've got. Good luck today, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!